Hey guys! Today we're going to be doing a rainbow density experiment, and we're going to be taking 4 different colors resembling rainbow colors, and then we're going to be adding some sugar and water for different densities and putting them all together at the end. So like I said, rainbow colors, technically you don't have to do rainbow colors, but I'm trying to model somewhat like the rainbow. So I'm going to use neon pink as my red, orange, then I'm going to be doing green and purple. So these are going to be my colors. And what you need first are 4 of these plastic cups. So you line them, or you can do them 2 at a time. And you're going to need a spoon. And just as a warning or cautionary thing, it can be quite sticky and quite messy, so be sure to have like a paper towel handy. And although we are using sugar, don't eat anything because of all the water and the food coloring and everything going in. It's not sanitary and you just shouldn't eat it. So first up, you're gonna take some sugar and you're gonna take one of your cups. You're gonna put 2 spoons of sugar in. And you're gonna put it off to the side. Make sure you know how many spoons of sugar is going in which cup, because that is extremely important, as this is a density experiment and messing up the sugar will mess up your densities. So your next cup should have 3 spoons of sugar. Since the last one had 2, you add 1 more. And then last, you need to take 5 spoons of sugar for the last cup, your 4th cup. And keep in mind, these cups are kind of tiny, so it will go all the way up to the top. So just be careful when you're stirring, especially you don't spill any. So one thing I noticed was that the cups were getting quite full, especially the one with 5 spoons and 4 spoons of sugar. So just as sort of an in case thing, I got 2 extra cups to split the more denser cups of sugar if I need to. So you might want to do the same. So next up, you're gonna take the 2 spoon sugar cup, the least dense one, and you're just gonna add 4 spoons of water. And this water doesn't have to be warm, it could be room temperature. The temperature doesn't really matter. So you're just gonna add 4 spoons of water to each cup. And at the end, I may be adding 1 more spoon of water to each one, just to make sure all the sugar is completely dissolved. So as I mentioned before, I was probably gonna add 1 more spoon of water to each cup, and I figured I will because there's still some undissolved sugar in the bigger cups. And I also noticed as the water was added to the sugar, it really went down. So these 2 cups will not be necessary, it will be fine just in the 1 cup. So adding 1 more spoon to each cup, just to make sure all the water is fully gone. And the reason I went back for that one was because the water I took in my spoon was not the whole spoon, it was just a tiny bit. So probably because of the glass I'm using. Make sure your water is actually the whole spoon and not just half of it, or else your measurements will be off and so will the experiment. So now I am done with my water, and I will just be taking each cup and giving it a nice mix, stirring it. And again, be careful because it is really easy to spill in this step, and really any of these steps, it's easy to spill the sugar, spill some water and everything, so just be really mindful of that. So I took my cup that was the least dense, the one with only 2 spoons of sugar in it, and I put in some pink food coloring, which is supposed to be red. It is kind of red, has a reddish tinge. And I put in enough to make it really stand out, because the more food coloring you put in, the more pronounced these colors will be, and the easier it will be to tell the difference between the different densities when you add them all together. So you're just gonna continue with the 3 spoons, and you can use the same spoon, it's fine, as long as you maybe wanna wipe it off before. The next color I will be using is orange. So put in some orange. Again, make sure the color is like strong. Make sure it's not too similar to the pink or to the red, because then you won't be able to tell a clean difference. Next up will be my second to most dense, and I will be adding green to that. So same thing as the orange. Put in enough to make the green stand out, because you don't want anything that's light green or else it'll kind of blend in with the other colors. So this is how it should look, the green. And then taking the last one, and that will be the purple. So adding some purple in. Again, with the same colors, make sure you add enough to make it really stand out, and then just mix it. So now just giving you an overview of my colors. This is my pink/red. Here's my orange, my green, and then my purple. So as you can see, all the colors are really bright and it's easy to tell the difference between them, which is what we need. So next step is to just take an empty glass like this, and you're gonna need your spoon, because this is probably one of the trickiest steps of this experiment, is mixing all these colors together. So how we're gonna do this, we're gonna put the purple on the bottom, then follow it by the green, the orange, and then the pink/red. So the most dense color, which will be the purple, will just go on the bottom of the cup. This one you can just pour in because there's nothing else in the cup. After that, you can add the green, but what's important to note is you want to take your spoon and you want to turn it upside down. Then you want to put it to the edge of the cup and spill the green slowly over it so it doesn't mix with the purple. Also, another thing that's very important is that there might be some maybe not well mixed particles of green food coloring and sugar. You do not want to put that in the cup, or else it'll just sink to the bottom and it'll mess up sort of the difference with your colors. So I added my green on top of my purple, and as you can see, the clean difference in between, even though the only difference between the two liquids is one had more sugar than the other, which shows how the densities are interacting, since the purple layer was much more dense than the green one, so that way the green can't enter the purple layer. And we're going to continue this with the orange. Same thing as before, make sure your spoon is down and to the side of the cup, and make sure you really take your time while adding these, or else your orange will enter the green and it'll mix. So after you add the orange, you may need to spread it a little so that it'll reach the edges. And then here you can see how it's purple, green, and then orange at the top. And then we're gonna add some pink. Now the thing with orange and pink is that it is quite similar, so it might end up mixing, or it might end up looking really similar, so you're gonna have to really look closely to tell the difference between the pink and the orange. So you just add the pink, again, spoon down to the side of the cup, and slowly add in the pink. Also, because the pink is so little, since it had the least density and the least amount of water and sugar in it, it won't be easy to tell the difference, but if you look really carefully, you can see the pink right on top of the orange. And it's okay if some of the maybe heavier food coloring goes to the bottom. It's not going to be perfect, but the point of this experiment is to note how the densities are working, and how the only difference in all of these smaller cups was the fact that they had 1 spoon each. So the pink had 2, the orange had 3 spoons, the green had 4 spoons, and the purple had 5 spoons. Each got around 4 to 5 spoons of water, and each had about the same amount of food coloring too. So how the sugars are not letting the colors interact is really cool to look at. So that's it for today. Make sure you really do wash your hands, because my hands are really sticky and a little food colored. And again, do not eat the sugar, even though it is sugar and it is meant to be in food. This is for experimental purposes only. Thank you. I hope you guys like that, and I'll see you next month.